Next day, I woke up with joy and with my heart beating fast. Quickly, I got out of bed and changed my uniform with a jump. Leaving my room, I one last time squeezed the box to my chest. Today's the day! I hid the box in my bag and quickly grabbed a toast before leaving the house. Stuff into your mouth and run to school with it. I can't wait for what was to come. Hope that Jasmine will be happy. I hope so much. With the same smile enjoys this game. But how do I do it? Going to school, I started wondering, how will I give it to him? Where would I give it to him? Find him in the hallway? No way! What will others think? Right. What will they think? With each passing moment, I had more questions than answers. It's just thank you for the advice. So why am I stressed about it? So what am I stressed about? I didn't know what to do, so I finally decided that I'm going to give it to him in the club. Brilliant! Wouldn't such a gift without occasion be strange? I'm all over the place! I was struggling with my thoughts. I felt like I wanted to make him happy, but I was afraid it wouldn't turn out the way I wanted. I didn't know what to do or think. It's all jumbled up. My thoughts and feelings. I haven't thought about it for a long time, that my feelings, instead of decreasing, are getting stronger. I didn't get it at all. What's going on with this? Why? For what? How? Why do I feel happy whenever I think about him? Why do I want to be close to him? Why does his smile cause my heart to race? Why does everything about him bring me joy? I'll probably never know. That means we'll never know. She just likes cold and indifferent gazes, but a kind heart. The moment I stepped into the school, just like before the break, everyone said hello to me. I've gotten used to it. Everyone was so kind and warm toward me. Just when I was walking through the hallway, everyone was happily waving at me. Is this what it feels like to be popular? I laughed to myself. I've come to like this feeling when everyone is so nice to you. Well, you no longer fear expressing yourself or your opinion. Exactly on days like this, the feeling of gratefulness to Jasmine keeps growing. And something else, however, I didn't know about at the time. When I said hello to everyone, I took my seat at my desk, and that's how the lesson started. I don't know. I'm currently thinking the whole time, should I even rate accuracy the canon, because it's kind of like the past, and it's a completely different universe from side stories and main game. So I think I won't give any accuracy to canon there. I can keep that for longer mods where all of the characters are in there, so that I can rate a little bit more like it. And that's how the lesson started. Yeah. Time's never been going this slowly. I was so fed up with this. But be honest, spending breaks with classmates wasn't bad. Breaks went past quickly as well, but I want to go to Jasmine already! And the only place I can see him is the debate club. Usually when we go to the debate club, it's not already sunset. Oh wait, the days are getting shorter, so it makes sense. Even though we've known each other for some time now, we haven't talked much and I don't know him very well, which makes me feel bad. But I won't give up. The last lesson felt like it dragged on the most. And I was staring at the clock, muttering, faster, faster, faster! Time, out of spite, did not speed up. After a while of paying attention and writing down the last notes, the bell finally rang! I quickly packed my things and immediately ran to the debate club. If you ever see something like animations or the text, kind of like holding on for a moment, staggering, that's not the video, that's actually the mod. I don't know if it's something with my download though, or if it's a problem a little bit in the mod that sometimes it struggles, or if it's my PC. I quickly packed my things and immediately ran to the debate club. Mizuki, although they wanted to say something to me. But I didn't listen. Finally, I'll see Jasmine! I've waited for so long! Like that, I took a seat and started waiting. Happily taking the gift box, held it close to my chest, and beaming, I was looking at the door waiting for Jasmine. For several minutes, he still didn't show up. And, for that matter, neither did anyone else. Have I kept waiting? Maybe they're running late. Yes! It must be it! So I patiently continued to wait for anyone. Waited for long enough, but still nobody came. Maybe something happened? Maybe something bad happened to him or somebody else. Thought that maybe I'd go out to check if everything's fine. No! The moment I go out, Jasmine might come. And so I stubbornly stayed still and waited. I started to feel sadness, so I laid my head on the desk. Still no one had shown up. I'd lost all hope. The sun was sinking lower and lower behind the horizon, and I was still alone. I felt pain. There was nowhere to be seen. I felt like crying at any moment. So off the seat and took one last look at the doors. I grabbed it and hugging it, I was leaving the class. Opened the door while looking at the ground. Ouch! Whoa! Almost tripped and fell to the floor. Feeling a mix of emotions, I felt intense sadness, but as well as happiness and hope that it's... Jasmine! I looked ahead. He was standing before me with a smile. Oi oi, what's the haste? Finally, it was him. I felt so happy that I wanted to jump into his arms, but he would think I was crazy. You're here! What? Was I not supposed to be here? Because I was squeezing the box even closer to my chest. It was this moment. Jasmine, Then Jasmine said calmly, club activities were cancelled today. Did nobody tell you? Stream of emotions got cut short. What do you mean cancelled? Wait, what? I froze in place. Cancelled? How? When? Where? I had so many questions, but I didn't have to wait long for answers. You see, Hitoro is sick. And suddenly noticed that Jasmine was looking at the box I was holding with interest. If I could ask, what are you holding? That's when I realized I was holding a gift for him out in the open! I quickly hid the box behind my back. I like that they are really making sure that the poses fit the situation. Jasmine! You see, it's just... Jasmine smiles warmly. Oh, I see. A gift for Hitoro. As I said, he's sick and I couldn't handle it anymore. It's not for Hitoro, but for you! When I shouted it, I noticed that Jasmine's expression changed, and I could feel myself getting red and the heat coming along. Jasmine didn't know how to react, so he tried joking. No, it's not my birthday today. I can win with him! It's not for birthday! This is simply for you, okay? I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. I started speaking more calmly, though still stuttering. Jasmine, see, I wanted to thank you. Jasmine was still looking at me confused. To thank me for what? I don't quite understand. I just could feel the emotions flooding in more and more. Not just! I mean, you've done more for me than you realize. But it was just a small advice and No! It was not just a small advice! My heart started beating faster and faster. This advice turned my life around 180 degrees. Jasmine. So, I quickly handed the box toward him. Please, accept this! As a thank you gift, please. Jasmine gently grabbed the box, brushing my fingers. It might have been just a moment, but feeling his touch on my fingers caused me shivers. Jasmine gently grabbed the box without tearing the ribbon, but unwinding. As I opened it, his expression wasn't one of happiness, but of awkwardness. Monica, you see, I was terrified. Does he not like it? Is something wrong? What? No, Jasmine pulls out the same game from his back pocket. You see, I already have this game. Felt everything falling apart. It was like a straight punch. Turned around all red, holding back tears. God, I'm so stupid! How did I consider that he already has that game? His words echoed in my head like a broken record. The while felt Jasmine's gentle touch on my arm. He placed his other hand on my other arm. Oh no, we can see her absence of leg. He placed his other hand on my shoulder, on my other arm, and slowly turned me until I was facing him. Oh. His blue eyes were filled with care, weird happiness. You know, Monica, that's even better. Really? Jasmine smiles joyfully. Yes, because, you see, I was filling with hope. Now that we both have the same game, we can play together, you know? If you want to. When he said it, I noticed that he was blushing a little, and he averted his eyes. Immediately I had in a shock, and but why? For what? The thought of him wanting to spend time with me sent me into a state of ecstasy! Just me and him. Just me and Jasmine. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I could no longer keep my emotions under control. Really? You want to play with me? You mean together? I took 2 steps in Jasmine's direction. Faces were inches from each other. Jasmine was blushing, but his voice was still calm. I mean, you know, yes. A white grin spread across my face. Sure, Jasmine, I'd love to play with you. After school, when I got home, my parents were already waiting for me. I've missed them so much! So I spent time with them, and I even brought along my friends, and obviously Yuri, so that everyone could get to know each other and talk. For months have passed since the summer break, and the 25th of December came, and so-called winter break as well. In the meantime, obviously I couldn't forget about Jasmine. That's because we were growing closer. And I bought a console and met up with Jasmine over the break to hang out. However, after some time we started to talk more, and with each passing day I got to know him more and more. Until we became close friends. It was like a dream come true. After the whole day I was spending time with my parents and friends. Evenings and breaks at school were moments just for me and Jasmine. I was feeling great. My nervousness and anxiety related to him with each day decreased, but this weird and strong feeling grew. It wasn't so overwhelming like before. It was nice, something that motivated me to get up from bed, that made me feel butterflies and my head spinning. Felt like the happiest girl in the world. I would never trade this feeling. One time my parents decided that as the new year is coming, and as the new year festival, which I loved going to, my parents decided that I can bring along my friends. Felt over the moon. My parents, as well as Mirai, Yoki, Misaki, and Yuri. It was something wonderful. And lying like that in bed, I wanted to share it. Wait, isn't that from the files, from the DDLC files, the weird silhouette? Jasmine! 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 Jeez. Monica, do you know what time it is? Yes! But listen to that! You won't believe. So, surprise me. My parents want me to bring my friends along to the festival! Wow! Hey, that sounds great, Monica. Are you going to the festival as well? You know, well, yes, but with parents. Mom always insists on holding hands. It's so embarrassing. I'd love to meet your mom. You are still a little baby for her. Oh, knock it off. You know, maybe you will someday. When I looked at my phone, I didn't know what I was reading. Was he implying what I think? After a brief moment, Jasmine texts further. I bet you are red like a tomato right now. I get irritated a bit, but chuckle as well. He's always like this! Whenever we see each other, Jasmine has been teasing me like this lately. But it's something I would never give away. So, getting back to the topic, maybe somewhere in the future, you know, we'll go to the festival together? I was being like crazy when I texted that. Jasmine replies, I promise, Monica. Said I keep my phone from happiness. So, yeah! Good night, Jasmine! Good night, Monica. And just like that, I was falling asleep with my phone in my hands. I want to have Jasmine close so much. The festival was a wonderful time. Me, my parents, and all my friends. I'll never forget this day. I also met some people from school and everyone said hello to me. It was something magical. I sometimes fear that everything is a dream, which I will wake up from. 7th of January came. The second year of junior high school will soon be over. I was feeling bad because of that. I looked out the window, I saw cherry trees blooming, and this year they bloomed earlier, which made me very uneasy. I love this time when cherry blossoms bloom. This time of year reminds me of last spring. One mere advice changed everything. On the thought of him, I felt a wave of feelings which I didn't understand. On this very day, everything was about to change. It started off innocently. When I got up from my bed, my parents were already gone. Yesterday they told me that they have to go very early. So once again I was home alone. Still, I was in good spirits. I started dressing for school with a hop, when suddenly something caught my attention. I walked over to the bed. There was a little white box lying on it with a note from my parents. I didn't notice it earlier. Monica, I know that you didn't want anything, but you promised that you'll at least accept something small. I'd love to see you in it. We love you. Heart, Mom and Dad. Dad is spelled small though. Small because I love them so much. I opened the box and for a short time I wasn't sure what to think. Ooh. But in this universe, she will get her ribbon for her hair. Inside was a beautiful white ribbon. I was looking at it for a while in silence. My hand reached out to it on its own. The moment I took it back, and I left the room. I was about to leave. One last time I looked at the stairs to my room. I couldn't help myself. Immediately walked over to the ribbon and picked it up. Maybe I'll try it on for a while. And there is a more typical Monica sprite in I just realized that I don't know what's written there. I am in English, right? Wait a second. Wait, but everything is in English. Still middle school uniform. That's what I want to say before I noticed that I can't read whatever's written there. If I remember, I might put up a translation. I look different. I couldn't describe it, but I liked how I looked. Give me a moment. I want to make myself a note so that I remember. I want... Oh, I just noticed a mistake, a spelling mistake. I had on something else. Let's just call it Marine. Translate part when Monica gets bow. That's how I make my first notes. Also for writing. the most stupidest sentences. Do this, then that. I'll just use Google Translate, so it might not have been the most accurate translation, but if there was a translation, I hope it's somewhat understandable. I liked how I looked. I felt, well, pretty. Thanks to that ribbon, I could see how long my hair was. It was obvious they were long, but that sing-along ponytail made them seem even longer. I was looking at myself for a short while. Suddenly it hit me. I'm going to be late for school! I quickly ran downstairs and left the house. I didn't have time to fix my hair again, so I just left the ribbon in. As I mentioned, the cherry blossoms bloomed earlier this year. To think that just a year ago, the sight would have made me feel melancholic. And now I love to look at them. Those falling petals on the blue sky were so beautiful. Like dancing to the rhythm of falling petals swaying in the wind. When I walked to school, I encountered familiar faces and some of them had already entered relationships. It's so cute! In spring, everything comes to life and becomes beautiful. When I got to school, I was passing the people in the hallway, but nobody was greeting me. Felt weird, especially since I got used to it. Each person I passed was looking at me weirdly. Felt a sting of embarrassment. Did something happen? Did I do something wrong? I think they might just be struggling, might just be unsure if that's really you or not. From afar, I saw a bunch of girls in my class, so I decided to say hello. Hey there, what are you up to? One girl noticed me. Oh, hi Monica, She suddenly stopped. She fell silent as soon as she looked at me. It got me worried. Did something happen? She tried to speak, but couldn't as the other girl also turned her attention to me, giving me a strange look I hadn't seen before. I laughed nervously. So, I'll see you in class? One of the girls tried to speak, though her voice faltered. Yeah, sure, Monica. Bye! Then bye. I quickly walked away. When I was headed to the classroom, I felt everyone's gazes at me. It made me feel bad, like an outcast. The sting of shame and pain grew stronger and stronger. Till the moment I noticed a familiar silhouette, and this was Mirai. She was standing with her back to me, so I decided that this time I'll hug her. I sneaked up on her and hugged her from behind. Haha! Got you, Mirai! Mirai laughed joyfully. Ha! You got me! When Mirai looked at me, she was rather speechless. A cute joy disappeared from her face, replaced by that weird look. I started to worry more. Did I do something? Is something wrong with me? The rush of embarrassment and pain grew as Mirai suddenly broke the silence. Monica, you look... Her quivering voice didn't help, but it actually convinced me even more that something was wrong. Mirai? Is everything... okay? I once again tried to speak up. You... Found my heart cracking. Her hesitating voice caused me pain. I was convinced that I've done something wrong. Misuke and Yoki came over, and when they saw me, they gave me the same stare as Mirai. Go say something! Felt their stares on me. They were terrifying. And the feeling of agony grew. Misuke decided to speak up. Oh, Monica. Wow. Misuke awkwardly looked at Yoki. Monica, you couldn't handle it anymore, and I quickly went to the classroom while holding back tears. I quickly took my seat, feeling everyone's stares. The people who were so kind and warm to me were now giving me weird looks and kept whispering to each other. It felt horrible. Please let this day end already! It was the last period, and I kept catching whispers from behind me. A few people tried talking to me, but it always ended the same way. So I was escaping to the toilet from shame and to the other lonely places. To escape from those gazes. With each lesson, the whispers intensified. Couldn't handle it anymore. But holding back tears, I ran out of class. People were trying to spot me, but I just ran. Or stop, I don't know. I didn't care where. I just wanted to run away. I quickly hid in an empty class. When I did, I sat down under the window and solemnly cried. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was wrong. I couldn't handle it anymore. But the wall heard some steps. I stood up and wiped the tears. It was Jasmine, full of happiness when I saw him. The feeling of pain disappeared, replaced by a warm and pleasant wave of various emotions. Jasmine suddenly spoke, all worried. Monica! Everyone's looking for you! You suddenly went out of class! Something happened? Did someone do something to you? Jasmine was the only one that didn't have that look. He looked at me with those blue eyes of care and concern. I wiped the tears with my sleeve, trying not to cry more. Jasmine... Because everyone just kept looking and did I do something wrong? Am I awful? They kept whispering and watching me with those eyes, and Desmond interrupted me, taking a few steps in my direction. At that, he gave me a warm smile. You misunderstood them, Monica. But even my friends, Desmond continued to calm me with a subtle smile. Trust me, Monica, you didn't do anything wrong. Then why? Once again, I tried not to cry, but my voice kept breaking. Just interrupted me and continued speaking. You know, maybe it's because how far you look today. So it's confused me. But anxiety and fear appeared. I look horrible. Jasmine laughed gently. Obviously not. You know. Jasmine looked away. It's quite the opposite. I was at a loss for words. I felt that I was all red. What do you mean? Jasmine answered with a smile, once again giving me that look, which this time hid sincerity. When you entered the school, I too didn't know what to say. It's not because you look bad. It's because you outshined every single one of them. You're like the first star to shine in the sky. The first star to... Wait, like a reference to our first... you know... To that reference that we had beforehand. You know... How... at the beginning... When they met and... You know... But at the first night, it was the first night when we had the scene of her looking at the stars. No one could take their eyes off you. Everyone adored you. No one could say anything because there were no words to describe how you looked. I was beating faster and faster. Felt warm through my whole body, and those words meant to me more than it seems. And how do I look? Then Jasmine said words I'll remember for the rest of my life. Monica, you look beautiful. I covered my mouth with my hands. Ooh! They have a CG in here! Little remix of your reality in the background. I felt tears running down my cheeks. But they weren't tears of sadness, but of happiness. I felt such indescribable happiness after hearing his words. So many emotions filled my head and my memories with him. Felt so much, and to a single boy. Questioned myself many times over. Why did I feel joy at the thought of him? Why do I want to be close to him? Why does a smile make my heart race? Why does everything relate to him make me so happy? I then understood. I love him! I love him so much! I fell for Jasmine! I want to be only with him. I'm sure of it. I want to love him forever. His words, touch, look, presence, it was all I ever wanted. I may not be perfect, but I will for him. I do not wish for anything more than for him to be happy, so that I could see his smile, hear his laugh, Feel his presence. I'll do everything for him. Why? Now I know. Because I love him. Amidst the flood of emotions I was feeling, all I could do was say one thing through my tears. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay, so we're getting over the conclusions. I wonder if there's some type of continuation in the look at me. In the Doki Doki Sparkling Eyes, look at me. But like I said, I need to check if there are multiple acts, then I might wait for them or for them all, or at least for a few more to be released. And if it takes a while, maybe I'll decide to play the act 1 for now. Like I'm thinking for Convergence of doing maybe. Monica wasn't the special things, but Dan Salvato made his way in there. I'm also thinking, I said I wasn't going to play Act 2 of this bond we share? Now stay tuned for the... I did read that. I just didn't read it aloud. I don't know if it's different credits, but I noticed that there were different credits also in... Nope. In... here, so I'm going, just to be sure, I'm going to show a bit throughout here as well. So, yeah. This bond we share, that's what I want to talk about. Maybe I'll play Act 2 of it earlier anyway. I wanted to wait for the full mod release, but if it takes a bit longer, I might just start with it sooner. Maybe I should... give me a moment. I want to show this. Oh, oh, there's some. Yeah. Anyway, a little review. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to do accuracy to canon. I want to only do that if there's like more of a reason to. With the characters all being there and it being a longer story, it makes more sense. I like the idea that they had for Monica's perfectionism, that it isn't anything like, oh, my parents are pressuring me or anything like that, but it kind of originated due to other reasons. I'm not sure how I felt about Monica's character in general. It makes sense that she would be different in 2nd grade of middle school than she would be in her final year of high school, which she would most likely be if she was 18. And it was changed in the Plus version also for the MC to no longer... like, he was talking about how the 3rd floor was usually used for 3rd year classes and activities, which would imply that he is in the 3rd year, which would most likely imply that since Monica and him were in the last class, that either he wasn't able to get into the next grade and had to repeat 1 grade, or that she too was not in was probably more like 17, maybe even 16. But that was removed in the Plus version, so I'm assuming that we're also going with that that Monica was in her final grade. I know a lot of things can change between those, like between 2nd grade of middle school and finally in high school. A lot can change, but I feel like the mod just had not a lot of Monica. It's simply the thing, like, of Monica's characters. We finally see it. We see that she has an interest in literature. We see how she kind of joined the debate club in middle school there. And maybe that's why she also joined it again in high school. But due to the time skip, this kind of could have been a completely different character with perfectionism, and it could have been any other club. Well, it couldn't have been any other club because it was her idea that she got her idea during that debate, how to compromise the both sides of it's broken and it's a bit of a problem, but it shouldn't be removed. But I think overall I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way she was handled, that she was kind of more of a shy person here and that she kind of grew in confidence a bit. Well, not exactly in confidence, but in popularity a little bit, thanks to her good ideas and everything, and her management. I also liked the idea of her and Yuri already knowing one another. I don't know how that will come into play for maybe the other Sparkling Eyes mod series. Like, look at me, like with Sayori. I'll see if that maybe comes into play also in the other future parts of the series, like I said, basically. I think for a new universe, it's a pretty cool idea that you can do a lot of things with, definitely. The things that I weren't too fond of were first and foremost the romance. She kind of just looks at him and it's love at first sight. Oh, yeah. Let's do a sandwich. The love at first sight was mentioned before by Yuri, so I thought that was kind of a nice foreshadowing, kind of. But I really wish we could have got more, because it seems that they both were kind of interested in one another. And the lot of bonding that they had, where they kind of grew closer, was off screen, like them growing closer through games and everything. And they want to make a shorter mod, clearly, and also more of a story of Monica growing more, like becoming more popular, growing slightly more into the person that she will end up becoming for her final year in high school. The first steps towards that. But I feel like the final reveal, was her, not reveal, but the ending was her finally coming to the realization, okay, this is love. I love this guy. And I feel like, while I overall thought it was sweet, generally it probably would have hit harder if we had a bit more of the romance between the two of them, because he gave her one good advice, and he had a cool and a different gaze that she found was very attractive. But outside of that, there was really not much romance happening on screen. Like, the gift was also sweet, but after that we hardly get anything anymore from how their relationship develops. So I know they probably just simply didn't want to make a severely long mod, but I feel like it kind of damaged the final part a little bit, that there was a lack of the actual romance. That isn't a big plot point though, because honestly I don't mind too much. I've been reading a lot of romance lately, like I said, to improve my own skills at learning to write romance and to dabble a bit into different things that I'm not used to, because I feel like that is important. Although I still prefer to read a bit more into paranormal romance, because I do want to, at the very least, get a little bit better and read something that I'm a bit more comfortable with. Although I have started picking up a few romance books that I don't think have anything that would usually interest me, and I'll see how I'm going to enjoy those. But I was a bit happy to have a little bit of less romance right now. But I do think overall, the story-wise, it maybe wasn't too good of a decision. Though I still enjoyed the moments they had, the little moments. I also think... Oh. No, I'm going to put it right now. I'm going to make a mixture of good and happy. Of things I really liked and things I didn't like as much. I really enjoyed Monica as a crush, because while I don't think I really had one, especially in middle school, high school anymore, that from what I've seen, from friends, from people around me, that was pretty accurate. Especially with like her thoughts of like in her mind freaking out. I think that was pretty accurate from what I've seen. So I thought it was kind of cute and fun to see. The only other negative things I have to say, like, of course the spelling was different, but I almost, the spelling, a few things in the maybe translation kind of struggled. But I'm more concerned with, honestly, the final conflict didn't draw me in at all. Of course I suspected it, I'm pretty sure most people can kind of expect it, that it's going to be about how beautiful she is. But seriously, why did everyone act like this? It felt kind of forced to have this conflict shoved in there. It really felt forced because, seriously, her friend starts shaking and none of them can say anything at all. Nobody can say anything. Maybe strangers are a bit intimidated because they're not too close to her. They're not close enough to really... So they're a bit intimidated by her beauty. But like her friends, one of them is literally just shaking. And she's literally begging them to tell them what's wrong. And they're just like, no, we can't. We cannot do that. It just really felt forced because... That last final conflict was just... the whole time I just felt frustrated, especially at her friends, for just not saying anything. They were just shaking and, you know, it's, just say she looks beautiful and stunning and that that you're caught off guard. I also sometimes think my friends are beautiful or like have something unique on them today that makes them even more outstanding than usual. And sometimes maybe I am for a moment like, whoa, wow, that's impressive. But I don't just stay silent, especially when they seem kind of like, oof, I'm feeling a bit awkward right now. Why isn't nobody saying anything? Just say something! Like, even if you feel, especially as the friend, it just felt so forced. It honestly, at the end, there was just this one frustrating part, and it kind of got me annoyed. It really did. Anyway, a few things I liked was like the foreshadowing with the stars. Like, it's the stars, the stars shining bright. It was the first one, and the others lit up, but the one star, the first one that showed up, was the most beautiful, and it was kind of reflected in that last conversation she had with the MC there. Well, not the MC, I guess. in this case, Jasmine. So there were a handful of things that I kind of liked with the little foreshadowing bits. Like with that love at first sight, Monica's so convinced that I'd love at first sight, and she does end up having it, even though I really don't understand the appeal that his cold and indifferent gaze had. And yeah, I really enjoyed the way Monica was kind of just a middle school girl who was just shy and quivering. Sorry, there was a fly that kind of distracted me for a moment. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything to accuracy the canon. Maybe. I'm swinging between 7.5 and 8. You know what? I don't want to be too harsh on mods. I've said it before and I'll say it again. They're kind of more works of fanfiction. They're not stories I should rate like I should rate a professionally written book. Because for quite a lot of people, this might just simply not be... might simply be their first written story because they were passionate. And the passion is what counts. And you know what? I did feel a lot of passion in the story. If only maybe I was distracted by Monica's passionate ramblings. But I did feel passion in there. I'm going with the 8. I didn't think it was that large good. There were 2 things I wasn't too fond of. 2 points reduced and maybe not fully my story due to the not too fond of romance hanging over it a little bit. floating a little bit, making sure that it's... I don't want to be too harsh on that even. Because I also really like the way that the students were kind of like very nice. It's usually like, oh, the schools are such bad environment, and of course I can understand stories like that because a lot of people had experiences with that. But I kind of like that there was more this positive atmosphere aside of that last final conflict. You know what? I'm giving it an 8.5. I genuinely did have fun for the most part. I genuinely do like, I'm not sure if it really fits into the DLC, but maybe that's because I haven't played the other things published for Sparkling Eyes right now. Like, right now I just believe Look at Me Act 1. Maybe that will explain a bit more. For the time being, it's more of a idea what Monica might have been like as a middle school girl. And I feel like it worked completely fine for that. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it with 8.5. I genuinely overall enjoyed the experience. Just that last bit part was frustrating, and honestly, the romance isn't as bad as it's just my personal brain of writing that's kind of dragging it down. So honestly, personal score 8.5 I think works perfectly fine. Yeah. I really like the music in this mod too. That's all I have to say. Good, how you all have a good night, morning, evening, or afternoon. And I hope you all stay safe.